Formula 1 is finally back in 2022 and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to Saudi Arabia, and yes, back to the Jeddah Corniche circuit for round 2 of our F1 2022 last question mark challenges. Of course, last weekend in Sakhir we raced as Charles Leclerc, who started from the back in that GP. This time around, we're going to be racing with who is likely to be his main championship rival in 2022, and that, of course, is Max Verstappen. The young Dutchman, of course, faced a late retirement in the first race of the year, so I'm sure he's going to be coming back strong and trying to fight for the win this weekend once again. Now, how it'll go, we'll have to wait and see as to how things unfold. But of course, if you aren't already, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed as well for more Formula 1 content. A massive thank you to all of you guys for the support as F1 has come back. We're now less than 500 subscribers away from 40,000, which is just a mind-blowing number to me as well. So, you know, I cannot thank you guys enough for the continued support. You know, to think we've basically tripled in about a year is just absolute insanity. But yeah, this weekend though, of course, yeah, starting from the back as Max Verstappen, the Red Bull car should theoretically suit this track, I think, in real life. You know, they seem to have a little bit of extra top-end speed over Ferrari last weekend. You know, always the Red Bulls can produce a lot of downforce as well there. But having a look then at our grid rundown here for the 2022 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position ahead of George Russell. Mercedes seem to have sorted out their issues from last weekend in Sakhir. Sergio Perez, our teammate, in P3 ahead of Lando Norris. Charles Leclerc, last weekend's winner, ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, and then Gasly and Carlos Sainz with the two Alpines rounding out the top 10. Yuki Tsunoda in 11th ahead of Lance Stroll, Sebastian Vettel, and then Valtteri Bottas make up row 7. Guan Yu Zhou, Alex Albon in 15th and 16th there, and then Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi, followed by Kevin Magnussen and myself, Max Verstappen, at the back of the grid. But yeah, let's get down to the track then, and let's get into this last question mark challenge. Right, well here we are then on the grid, ready at the Jeddah Corniche circuit for round 2 of the F1 2022 season. Honestly, doesn't feel that long ago that we were watching the first ever race here in Saudi Arabia. Of course, way back in last December now, but yeah, this one though, obviously last year's race was a bit of carnage, to be honest. I think that, you know, the pressure being taken away from, you know, the sharp end of a championship battle, though, should hopefully mean that this weekend's Grand Prix is a little bit sort of more exciting in a normal Formula 1 sense. But strategy today, though, we're going to try and do the mediums to the softs there. Just makes sense, you know, starting out of position here, driving as Max Verstappen. You know, we want to try and carve our way back up there and try to be quick in the second half of the GP there. But of course, only 13 laps here around this circuit as well. One of the longest laps on the F1 calendar. But yeah, I just want to dive right into it though here today, ready on the grid, waiting on those 5 red lights here in Jeddah. We've got K-Mag alongside us, 5 red lights, and it's going to be lights out, and away we go. Of course, starting on those slightly harder tyres. There's the back end wriggles as we head back down in towards turn 1. Just got to try and find a bit of track space here through the first couple of corners. You can see both Haas cars sandwiching Nicholas Latifi through the first turn. Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou up the road. I can see they're both on medium tyres as well at the start of this one, but near impossible to try and pick up places early on here of the lap there. Schumacher and K-Mag still side by side just in front of us. Who's going to win out this battle between the Haas cars there as we just lightly graze the wall? It is K-Mag that comes out on top in that situation, but now we've got to try and use the Red Bull's downforce advantage and really try and slingshot our way out onto the back straightaway here. In towards the back turn 13 we go, around the outside of Mick Schumacher there, and we'll try and pinch him on the exit. But I mean, yeah, this Haas car definitely doesn't have quite the same sort of performance as our Red Bull. Look at that, Mick Schumacher trying to fight back there in towards the next chicane. We have to hang him out to dry once again, but I think ERS preservation today is going to be absolutely critical here as we try to close up the gap to Kevin Magnussen once more here in towards the next section of fast corners. Oh, he just about gives us the room there. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact between myself and K-Mag. He's always one that will give you maybe just enough space there, but never an inch more. But we do make the move work around the outside of the Haas as we round the final couple of corners of lap 1. I think it's still Hamilton who leads the way here. Yes, it is. George Russell in P2. Clearly those Mercedes upgrades that they've brought this weekend have worked there. Sergio Perez up still in P3. He needs to fly the Red Bull flag early on in this GP. And yeah, we're up to P18. Not the best progress on lap 1, but not bad either. As next up, Latifi and those Alphas. Really through this first sector where you can see how much time we gain over the Williams there. He's on softer tyres than us, but we've just got so much extra grip as we might try and do a similar move to what we did to Mick Schumacher last lap there. Round the outside in towards the banking once more. It just allows you to commit so late on the brakes there because the track kind of hugs you towards the apex. And there we go, round the outside of the Canadian. Next up, Valtteri Bottas as we head down back through this fast chicane. And look at that. Obviously, Alfa Romeo also on the medium tyres, so you expect them to struggle a bit early on, but just able to get so much pickup. As still wheel to wheel with Valtteri Bottas. We should have the inside though for the next corner. And Bottas, actually rather surprisingly, they'd never wanted to back out of that one, but we have made the move work. And actually, look at this, gaining a little bit on Guan Yu Zhou as well. Red Bull opting for a really, really low downforce package this weekend. As Guan Yu Zhou, he's actually going to try and defend against the reigning Formula 1 World Champion there. He's not probably going to get the best run off the exit of the final corner there, and we're going to use a splash more of the battery. Round the outside of the Chinese driver we go. It's a drag race back down towards turn 1. DRS now enabled as well. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Look at this from Guan Yu Zhou. Not willing to back out in that situation there. We actually run a bit deep and we're still side by side on the exit of the corner there. Again, we're going to have to use a splash of battery as we head down the next straightaway. But into the S's we go. And we will now inherit P15 there. What a little battle that was. All over the back now of Lance Stroll as we head through this fast S section of corners here. We're actually going to have a look towards the outside, in towards the next chicane. Do not want to be on the outside there, especially as Lance Stroll, you can clearly see, never had any intention of giving me any room. But now we're going to have the DRS though, as we head back round in towards the final corner of the lap there, and clean around the outside of Lance there, as his teammate Sebastian Vettel tries to pull off a move on Alex Albon. But look at that, Lance Stroll fighting back in towards the final corner there. We just get on the marbles on the outside and compromise our run, but now we should have huge overspeed as we head back down in towards T1.
You'll be on the soft.
And we'll slot back in front of the Canadian now as Vettel pulls off a move on the Williams in front of him. Come on, Alex Albon in your Williams. I think Albon might have just had a good start here, but is slowly slipping back down the order. As again, around the outside of another Williams into the banking. Thank you very much. We'll have that one. Oh, Albon tries to show the nose once more on the exit, but we'll put the power down. And next up, Sebastian Vettel, of course, the man that brought 4 of Red Bull's World Championships. He's going up against the man that brought them their most recent, and I think we've got a bit of a car advantage over Sebastian at the moment. Aston Martin had a torrid weekend out in the Bahrain Grand Prix there, and of course Seb not back in real life for Jeddah. We wish him a speedy recovery from COVID, but we'll pull off the move anyway, and we'll now move up into P12 then. Yuki Tsunoda, next car out the road, and then of course all the guys that started on softs a little bit further ahead. You put this car in clean air and we just romp up towards the back of the next cars there, around the outside of the AlphaTauri. No, Tsunoda. Ooh, little kick of oversteer there on the exit. Tsunoda having none of that from the man in the sister team, but fingers crossed now. This has always been a good, really good opportunity for us to try and get some overspeed on the cars in front there. And again, Tsunoda. Oh, we're going so close, wheel to wheel. Barely an inch between myself and the young Japanese driver there. But we're going to have the inside in towards the next chicane. And Tsunoda, yeah, not really given a choice there. Kind of forced into submission of that position.
Nice move.
Team loving that, but yeah, we got 4 seconds now to Esteban Ocon at the road, and then Carlos Sainz languishing down in at P9. Let's just see, obviously we're going to pit the end of next lap, so we're just going to try and keep bringing out the good pace as we're setting green sectors everywhere. Are we seeing cars into the pits? I don't think so. End of lap 6 then, about to dive into the pit lane. And a pretty good in lap for the most part, just got to try and keep it clean and tidy on pit entry. Oh! We'll completely lock up those front tyres there on the way into the pits. Won't be needing them any longer in this GP. But here comes Yuki Tsunoda. Luckily, we won't get held up behind the Japanese driver there. And 2.5 seconds isn't too shabby
for a pit stop in current Formula 1. Getting a little bit worried that we're going to get caught up behind some of the slower cars. We're going to be a couple of seconds behind them. Got to be really, really careful on pit exit here. Yeah, 4 seconds though. I would have thought a lot of those cars are going to dive it in pretty soon, so we shouldn't worry about that too much. We'll cross that bridge if we have to, I suppose. But yeah, now onto soft tyres there. We should be probably the fastest car on the racetrack between now and the end, as that is not the line through there. Ooh-ha-ha. The walls creep up on you. So there we go, check them into the pits. So we are definitely going to close up to the back of these Haas cars before they box. Of course, yeah, much quicker car, much fresher tyres as well. And we've taken like 3 seconds out of K-Mag already on this lap. We can get a bit of DRS off him, that would be rather useful. But I really probably want Mick Schumacher to box first, to be honest, because we might be able to get past K-Mag on the run back down. 8 tenths back still from Kevin Magnussen, and unfortunately for me it is going to be that Haas car that decides to pit. We've got a load of cars into the box, however. I'm actually going to be out, not too far away from one of the Ferraris there. That's Charles Leclerc and Daniel Ricciardo, only a couple of seconds up the road. So we are now really getting ourselves towards the sharp end of this running order, but we've got Mick Schumacher between us and them, as that was always going to be optimistic into the S's. Let's just watch, though, how much time we gain on Mick Schumacher. Look at that! Mick Schumacher's just got nothing left in that rubber, and the team forced him to stay out for that extra lap there, and I don't even think he really wants to battle this. Gives us a clean run around the outside there, almost like he had blue flags. Purple through the middle sector here, green in the first. This could be new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We're going to see the last few cars into the pits there. Ricciardo and Gasly going side by side through the final corner, that Gasly holds firm and does give us a little bit of a favour there. Of course, the AlphaTauri want to try and help us out in this Grand Prix. There we go, 31-1. New fastest lap of the GP there, as I think, yeah, Carlos Sainz has come back out on the hards. Why Ferrari opted for that there as well. We get all out of shape on the exit of turn 1 there. Cars absolutely everywhere. So we've got people trying to exit out the pit lane here. We've somehow made it up into P8. Let's look at this, Fernando Alonso trying to send it up the inside there on his fresh rubber. Fair play, always the opportunist, Mr. Alonso, and a wily old fox at that. But Gasly, yeah, it's really, really starting to cost these guys a lot of time. But we're going to try and capitalise on this. Charles Leclerc tries to cover me off, though. We're almost going to be 3 wide. As we head down towards the bank in there, we do go 3 wide. We run just off the circuit and get squeezed out there, as that all got a little bit close for comfort, as we went one side, Leclerc went the other on Pierre Gasly here. But now we're going to have to try and play the patience game and try and get a run on the exit of the corner, and that might be what we've just done. Look at the drive we've got now, as Charles Leclerc makes the move work on Gasly. We make the move work on the pair of them, and a cheeky little double overtake there to move us up into P6 of the Grand Prix. We've got Ricciardo now just in front of us, as well as Lando Norris. So McLaren have certainly worked out what a lot of their issues were from last weekend in Bahrain, but still we should be quicker than Danny Rick, as I think, yeah, the top 3 might just be a little bit too far away in this one today, as we head out of the final corner once more. Going to see if we can try and close up to Daniel Ricciardo there, but Lando Norris on a set of hard tyres, he should be easy pickings later on in this GP. As Ricciardo tries to go defensive, we have none of that as we head back down in towards turn 1. We'll hang him out to dry, our former teammate, and now up at a 5th. Lando Norris now just in front of us in this GP. The hard tyres just do not work around this Jeddah Corniche circuit. We're gaining on the McLaren man.
There's been an incident on track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful.
It's quite impressive. I thought basically every incident around here will require a safety car, but Lando Norris gives us a squeeze, but opens up the inside for us. And we will therefore make a move work. Go nice and defensive on the brakes. Try and roll on the power out of the final corner. And P4 will now be ours then. Don't think we're going to set another new fastest lap. No, we're just going to miss out on that one. But 11 seconds behind Russell and Perez, I don't think is going to be catchable by the end, unless they really start duking it out. Well, Russell and Sergio Perez still battling super hard for P2 in this Grand Prix.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
Another new fast lap of the GP for us, though. But yeah, we're not going to quite have enough time to close up the gap.
You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep this up.
Love to hear that, though. Lando Norris going to try and defend from his teammate Ricciardo, but 2 laps to go. I think last at P4 is not too bad going, if you ask me.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
About to start the last lap then of this Jeddah Grand Prix.
Final lap of the race.
And yes, certainly has been another eventful event then from the Corniche circuit, but it has been a little bit cleaner running than the 2021 variant there. But looks like Hamilton, he's going to try and keep his streak alive here of winning every Saudi Arabian Grand Prix there. And this will now mean as well that he will extend his advantage at winning one race in every year he's ever competed in Formula 1. I think the record currently is tied between him and Michael Schumacher. That's something mad, like 15 seasons in a row. But yeah, if Hamilton wins a race, of course, this year, that'll turn into 16 years. 16 seasons even, I should say, of race victories in Formula 1, which is just a mind-boggling statistic at the end of the day there. But rounding the final few corners then, here from the Jeddah Corniche circuit, I think Russell and Perez, to be honest, now they've stopped battling it out. Perez looks like he's made that move stick for good and will take P2 there. We didn't have much pace advantage over them later on in the day. Just push these softs a little bit too hard, but to be honest, looking at the pace after qualifying, I think P4 was all we were probably realistically going to be able to muster up from this one here today. Hamilton crumbs still across the line though, and he will win yet again here in Saudi Arabia and put Mercedes' worries after Bahrain to rest. Mercedes back on top once more. Perez P2, Russell in P3, but from the back of the grid, we come through for P4.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix there, and Hamilton back on top, you know, as you'd probably expect at some point in 2022 there. Sergio Perez P2 ahead of Russell and myself, Max Verstappen, from the back of the field there. But of course, with that bonus point, fastest lap there means Verstappen, yeah, opens his up his 2022 count there. Lando in P5 ahead of Charles Leclerc and Daniel Ricciardo there. So McLaren making big gains this weekend, and Ferrari nowhere near where they would have wanted to be there. Gasly, Alonso and Carlos Sainz round out your top 10. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. We're really close now to 40,000 subscribers. So yeah, if you could help me get one step closer, it would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, we will be back very soon, ready in Australia. Yeah, Albert Park back at last in Formula 1. That'll be where we do our next F1 2022 last question mark challenge. But for now, we'll see you guys very soon.
None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.